As we enter the final full month of 3DS online play, I thought it'd be a great way to make money. A great way to celebrate the system by going back and playing the old Pokémon games. I already dipped into toe earlier this year when I looked at 3DS and Wii U games online, but this will be entirely focused on Pokémon. None of that Mario Kart or Smash Bros nonsense. I'll be splitting them into two videos. The first one is all about Generation 6, X and Y plus Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. And the next one we'll take a look at Generation 7, Sun and Moon plus Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. And with Legend ZA on the Z Way, this gives you a quick look back at the Kalos region and its Pokemon, which is where we find ourselves today. First things first, I have to connect to the internet. As you can see from the passers-by list, there's still a ton of people playing Gen 6 while connected to the internet. Most are from Japan and the United States, with Canada surprisingly underperforming. But we're not here to interact with people one-on-one. We want strangers to reach out and touch us anonymously. That means it's GTS time. I wanted to see if I could knock out an easy trade early and search for a fletchling. There were tons available from people all over the world who probably haven't turned their 3DS on in 10 years, and they were asking for reasonable Pokemon in return like Volcanion, Zekrom, Lugia, and Giratina. Unfortunately, the previous owner of my copy siphoned away all the good Pokemon, though they did leave me with a few legendaries. Since you can go to the settings in GTS and filter trades by Pokemon you have, I was able to find Andre, who was offering a level 3 fletchling named Thuggle. I don't know how Andre posted this trade since they can't afford X, but whatever. Well, Andre, it's your lucky day. I accepted your trade. You just, have to buy a 3DS and connect to the servers by April 8th or my Xerneas disappears into the ether forever. And I hope you appreciate it because I had to go to Dendemil Town and delete Cut before I could trade it to you. I also wanted to put a Pokemon in the GTS to see how fast it was accepted, but the Gourgeist, Yveltal, Zygarde, and Victini left on the save file were all special Pokemon and those can't be traded. So onwards to Wonder Trade. I put up a level 7 Scatterbug and waited. The Wonder Trade will eventually time out if it can't find anybody, but Mallory from France is still playing and sent me a level 3 Fletchling. Yeah, we both kinda screwed each other over here. But don't worry, next I traded with Chris from Colorado. I sent him a level 1 Feebas, he sent me a Klefki named Keys. But was he the original trainer? Nope, that Klefki originally belonged to Max, though it was met in March 2024. So it seems like a pay-it-forward situation where you keep Wonder Trading until you eventually get a level 100 shiny that's totally legit. But enough of this boring trading, I want a battle. I knew based on previous experience to have low expectations. Since single free battle had the best chance of working, I saved that for last and went with rotation battle. That timed out after the typical 90 seconds or so. Same with triple battles. I can't blame anybody for avoiding them. The frame rate chugs in double battles. Anything more might cause a 3DS to explode. Sadly, double battle also failed, leaving all of our hopes on single battle. Well, that also failed. The game recommends waiting a bit and trying again. Clearly it has more hope than it should. So I came back after Wonder Trading a couple of times. Again, nothing. And for those wondering about rating battles, you need to connect to the Pokemon Global link, which just so happened to shut down at the end of February 2020, a couple weeks before the globe shut down. Which means it's out of the question, and my journey through Pokemon X Online has come to an abrupt end. Ultimately, if you're not looking to use Wonder Trade or to get the straps on the GTS, there isn't anything to really do online in Pokemon X and Y in 2024. People just don't seem too keen on revisiting the past before it's erased forever by Nintendo. But maybe I'm looking in the wrong spot. Maybe people are just hiding in the Hoenn region. Here's where the real fun begins. The copy of Omega Ruby I have is overflowing with Pokemon to trade and battle with. It's just a matter of finding people to trade and battle with. Since we started with trading in Kalos, we'll try battling first in Hoenn. Well, just like X and Y, free rotation battles were a swing and a miss. Same with triple and double battles. A part of me wanted to spend money on a fully insanified team of Pokemon to beat up little children with, but since no one's actually playing, I decided to save my hard-earned Pokédollars and just become a filthy legendary spammer. I mean, strategy and IVs and EVs and proper movesets and held items can't beat the raw power of someone I have no connection to that I caught with a Master Ball, right? Well, I guess we'll never know because I tried several times to find a single battle and never saw anybody. So it was back to good old trading. I decided to deposit a Pokemon in the GTS first. Finding the right one took some time as, again, special Pokemon can't be traded. I also wanted to pick someone other people are looking for, so I chose Kyogre. But then I got a server error, probably because my message was about how lonely I was and how I was looking for single moms in my area. I tried again, this time with Articuno. I asked for a Tailo and success! It was sent off into the void. While I waited for someone to hopefully pick up the Articuno, I decided to look for a random Pokemon on the GTS. I used a random number generator to decide, which gave me 114, Tangela. Only 3 people had a Tangela on offer, and I think one of them was a filthy YouTuber begging for subs. Another wanted a Reshiram, and another wanted a Meowth. Since I really wanted that Tangela, I traded away Meowth. You gotta be frugal in this economy. At this point, I checked on Articuno, and success! I got my Tailo, a level 3 from Spain. A fair trade if I do say so myself, and it was less than 5 minutes between posting it and me checking to see if it was gone. Because I didn't want to leave Moltres alone in the PC without its friend, I decided to trade one Phoenix for another, asking for a Fletchling in return for Sulfura. And of course, I had to let everyone know that I make my boss stiff when I play Pokemon cards. While waiting, a quick random number generator for Gallade led me to 2 people on the GTS. One wanted a Kingdra, the other a Yamask. I only had a Kingdra with Pokerus, so that was sent to Pennsylvania, which I have on good authority will be renamed if Biden is reelected or something. Moltres still hadn't been traded 2 minutes later, so I asked for a Quilladin, everyone's favorite Stage 1 starter. Me mate Aaron from Australia had a shiny Quilladin on offer for a Ho-Ho. I couldn't pass that deal up. Since trading was going so well, I wonder traded away a Virizion. Why? Because there's this thing called investing and the stock market. I don't know how it works, but Bodgto from England who loves MILFs gave me a Stunfisk for it and I think I came out ahead. Chuffed by that success, I decided to send a Cresselia next. Another UK chap traded with me, which was weird given that it was literally midnight their time when I did this, and sent me a Pidgey. Pidgey's the first regional bird and eventually turns into Pidgeot. Cresselia doesn't evolve. Clearly I won that trade. Before logging off for the day, I checked on Moltres one last time. It may have taken 10 minutes, but I got my Tailo. Overall, I'd say it was a massive success. I helped remove some Pokemon from the GTS, and I helped some kids halfway across the world get Pokemon they can't use in their journey because their levels are so high. You can't tell based on what I'm wearing, but this footage is from a day later at a completely different time. I was determined to get into a battle, which meant a lot of waiting and wishing and hooping. I also switched the orientation of the screens. If you have a preference, please let me know in the comments. This new one definitely grew on me over time, but it's so tough choosing how to display the 3DS screens, given that the traditional vertical is too small, but Pokemon games like to display information on different screens at random times, and for people who have used a DS or a 3DS for years, it can be weird seeing the screens side by side instead of up and down. Anyways, as you can tell by all the passersby appearing in-game, there's still a ton of people in Gen 6 who will disappear in a month. I just need them to be in the same mode as me at the same time. I went to the battle spot and tried every single game mode. This required the patience of a Marini waiting for Corsola branches to fall off. Each time a mode would fail, I'd go to the next. And the next. And the next. Do you want to know how long it took me to find someone? 31 minutes! And it was against someone named Petite Pony who masterfully baited me into thinking they sucked, only to promptly wipe the floor with Mega Latios. It's not my fault I lost though. I was so shocked to find a battle that I was unprepared, okay? I mean, no one on my team even had a held item or could Mega Evolve. That's like using a Goldeen on land. I never stood a chance. I spent another 10 minutes afterwards looking for someone else to battle, and unfortunately, not even Petite Pony showed up again. Because I lost though, I decided to channel my inner Paul and got rid of the losers. I put Mewtwo up on the GTS for a Pidgey, and I wonder traded Reshiram and Virizion. Someone from North Carolina who looked constipated took the Reshiram and gave me an Oddish, while my neighbor Toturi from Japan took Virizion and gave me a Seedot. Totally fair deals. Surprisingly, Mewtwo still hadn't been traded at this point, so I left it there. May you one day be claimed my friend, who I don't care about. It's safe to say that Pokemon on 3DS is fairly barren. Finding a random battle against a stranger is almost impossible, forcing you to use things like Reddit and Discord to get any sort of human interaction within a Pokemon game. The good news is that there's still several Pokemon who've been left to rot on the GTS that you can get your hands on for totally fair prices. People will still snipe any legendary you offer up for a Route 1 bird, and you can easily find a Wonder Trade partner. But who cares about Kalos and Hoenn? Everyone knows that Alola is the best region in the entire Pokemon world. I mean, I bet you can name every single island from Sun and Moon off the top of your head. Exactly, there's a Meal Island, and Guzma's a thing. Oh, and Squid Lady. Whatever, next week we'll be checking out what's going on in the realm of Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Until then, feel free to use the comments to try and connect with anyone still looking for trades or battling in Pokemon X and Y or Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire.